there, I've gotten a lot of questions about this guitar, my Squier Strat that I used on the song E.T.A. I've actually used it on a lot of things. And from Paul David's video, thank you, Paul Davids. That was awesome. It was awesome to have you here and awesome to talk to you. And I've loved a lot of the feedback we've gotten and a lot of questions about this guitar. So I'm going to try to answer some questions about this guitar. And I've gotten a lot of comments about how gunky the fretboard is. So I swear I don't even notice it when I'm playing. I don't even see it. When I'm working, I'm looking at music or I'm looking at the monitor. I can't see it from this perspective, but when I saw it on Paul David's HD camera on the video, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so filthy. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on this fretboard for sure. I'm going to clean it off, and then hopefully the mojo won't go away. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you about this guitar. Okay? Stay tuned. So I'm not going to do a how-to video. I'm just going to do the recommendations of my guitar tech. He said to clean it with this Ronsonol lighter fluid, for lighters, and then clean it again with this, or treat it with this, the orange oil. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put some new elixirs, and these are going to be 9s. I usually use 10s or 11s, but the 9s are great for this, the vibe I like, the sound for this guitar. The 9s work well. All right? All right, let's get to cleaning. Okay, that took some work to get that fretboard clean, as you can imagine. You can see how gunky it was. A lot of dirt on this. Now I'm going to treat it with this lemon oil stuff, or orange oil. And we're just going to kind of, so I'm going to just put it on here. And then just kind of protect the fretboard a little bit. And again, I'm not a tech. My tech works on my guitars. He's never worked on this one, but so I'm going to let this sit for a little while, let it kind of absorb into the wood, and then I'll put the strings on, and we'll get going. I actually had to scrape some of the gunk out, and we'll see what we got. Hopefully, I didn't just clean off all the mojo. But I think the mojo is safely in my hands, but we'll see. All right. All right, that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm sweating here. It was a lot of work to get that fretboard clean. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good right now. Cleaned and treated. New elixir strings on here. I got 9s. Like I said, these are not normally I use 10s or 11s on my electrics. And on my acoustics, I'm kind of up to 13s now. I like the sound of a heavy string. I want to tell you, first off, why did I take the volume knob off? Well, it's because I like to, this guitar particularly gets used when I want to kind of get that 80s thin. And what was happening was, because I'm kind of muting and playing kind of a choked feel there, I was turning the volume down. So slowly but surely, my volume was, the tone was going away, and I'd be like, what's going on? And I realized I was turning my tone down. So I took off the knob, and it solved the problem. I mean, it's kind of one of those things about Stratocasters that do, where the volume knob is so close to where your hand typically is, you will tend to turn it down every now and then. Sometimes also you'll hit I hit my switch every now and then if I'm playing rhythm or if I'm playing live or something. I might have a little bit more of a voracious strumming right hand. Okay, so now I think, based on the serial number of this guitar, I think it's a 2004. I can't quite remember when I got it, but it was probably sometime in 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in there. I bought it at Guitar Center. It literally cost $99. It's completely stock, except for I did take that off. I don't think I've done anything else to it. It's all original pickups. The tuners, they seem to work fine. The intonation's fine. I may have made a slight adjustment to for intonation. I may have done that. I do know that recently I did have to tighten the neck a little bit because it was getting a little flat, and so it needed a little bit of tension on it to get rid of that because I was getting some buzzing. And it's really low action. I mean, I got 9s on here, and it's low action, so it feels like, you know, it's hard to bend on because it's so low. You know, the strings want to go underneath my fingers. But it's a fun guitar to pick up because I've got it set up this way. I have used it live. It doesn't sound good through a lot of gain. Like if I put it through a loud amp with distortion, like a distortion box or a fuzz box in front of it, it's going to be really noisy. And that's one of the things that as a session player, you really can't have a lot of noise in your system because it drives the engineers crazy. It's just not what we want to hear. Now, that said, there's new tools now to get rid of hum and noise like that. And so they can do that kind of stuff later. Now, I wrote E.T.A. on this. I also wrote another song that was in that Justin sang. I don't know. I think it's called "Don't Go Far." Same guitar, maybe the same session, same key. So I did that one probably in the same sitting. I wrote that song as E.T.A. and I just sent a bunch of files, and they used those two for songs that they wrote over, and then one of them got released and the other one just got put in a documentary. Okay, the other thing that I've done, there is another customization. Right here, you see this? This is, again, just the years of being a poor, struggling musician. You learn to make do. It's like, oh, a strap lock's $20? I can't afford that. But a Grolsch beer thing, you can get a 6-pack of Grolsch, or 4-pack of Grolsch beer, and it'll have 4 of these in it, so you can have strap locks for your 2 guitars. And I'm not a big fan of beer, but you know, if I get a free strap lock out of it, it works great. I've got one on both sides, and it's exactly like one of those. They now market something like this. I've had it on here for a long time. My son Alex hit me to it. What is Alex doing drinking beer? Anyway. All right, what else about this guitar? Like I said, it's always out. The thing I like about it is that it has a great out-of-phase sound. That sound is really hard to get. It's pretty tuned. Keep in mind these are brand new strings. A lot of people commented, well, it's easy to get that sound if you have thousands of dollars of gear. Well, I could probably get the E.T.A. sound if I just plugged into your amp or any amp, pretty much, because a lot of the sound is in my hand. A lot of the sound is in the voicings I choose. But what I did was I came up with a GarageBand sound that's close. And I'm going to turn off the compressor that I used, and I'm going to switch over from Logic, which is, this is the sound, and I'm going to switch over to GarageBand, which is free if you own a Mac. It comes with a Mac. Okay, I think it even comes with your iPhone if you have an iPhone. Okay, so let's check this out. It's a little more muted. I could probably brighten it up a little bit. I got the compressor off, which actually makes a lot of difference. And again, the reason I use the compressor, and I usually put another compressor on in the patch, is because compression tends to bring out the sound of the contact that you make with the strings. Whether it's with a pick, So if I'm going to use like a U2 pick and get a really scratchy sound, it's got a lot of texture on it. Hear that? And if I have the compressor on, you hear a lot more of that moment where the pick hits the string. And I feel like that's also true with my fingers. The compressors, having a couple compressors on, will bring out all the sounds of my fingers, the nails, my fingerprints, the top of my hands, the top of my nails, my left hand as well. So all of it kind of adds to it. Now this is the GarageBand sound with the compressor on. So I'm going to turn off the compressor. And this is kind of what I dialed up trying to imitate. See, it's pretty dark. Let me see if I can brighten it up. Okay, so now I think I've got a tone. It's not quite. That's just GarageBand, which is, again, like I said, if you have a Mac or an iMac or a MacBook Pro or even an iPhone, I think comes with GarageBand now. I'm not sure. I have an iPhone. I've never looked for it. But yeah, you can kind of get this sound on freeware. And I'm sure PCs, if you have a PC, there's all sorts of different kinds of PC amp modelers or things like that. And I'm just basically getting a clean Fender sound, a little compression, bright, kind of set it bright. And I put a little echo in there. The tempo of this song was 130 BPM. So the echo I have is it's a stereo echo, 8th note and then a quarter note. So it's bouncing back and forth, just kind of like left, right, center, left, right. But it's just way mixed down, and I've got the top rolled off so it's not very bright. You barely hear the delays. You know, I love picking up this guitar when I want to write. It's fun to play. It's super easy to play, and so it's just sitting around messing around. You can kind of come up with some cool ideas sometimes, and so that's what it should be. A guitar should be fun to pick up. It's real important, I think, to have your guitars play fairly easily, so you want to pick them up and you want to practice and you want to get better. And for me, it's a lot of times I want to be able to pick up something and just start writing on it. And that's kind of why this guitar is always out, because I have so many things I have to write for that I'm like, okay, if I need something that's got a little R&B vibe or some soul or funk or whatever. In fact, I was using this guitar on a new TV show yesterday because it sounds so good with a wah. I was playing wah through it. So, but right now, this is with the compressor off. Now, if I turn that compressor back on, it does make a difference. I'm amazed at how much of the brightness comes from that pedal, because I really don't have it. It's a bass compressor, actually. But it's just really kind of one of those things I have always on for the most part. I want to thank Paul Davids again for having me on his channel. That morning was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of subscribers out of it, made some new friends, and there were some great comments. I appreciate them all, even the ones about my fretboard being so grungy, which it's not anymore, okay? So, but anyway, the point overall on that video was that I chose this guitar to write with in that moment because it just was inspiring me. I got a tone that I liked, and this is kind of how you do it. You know, you get a sound that you like, you pick up a guitar that feels good, that inspires you, and you just start going for it. You get in that writing zone. And sometimes it's not easy to get there, and then sometimes you find some magical ways to get there. And this guitar actually it still has the mojo. The mojo is still there, thank God. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't gotten any new songs written yet with the grunge gone. So hopefully I'll be able to make some magic with this guitar in the future, okay? But thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Subscribe if you haven't. Ask any more questions about the guitar. Hopefully I covered everything. I may have forgotten something, and I apologize if I did. But thank you so much again for watching, and have fun.